All right, also a long time no see. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys have been following my journey for my debut to the new division fit model, thank you so much for continuing to follow this. If you are new here, welcome. My name is BSHAE, BSHAE Fit on all socials, and I'll pop that up here. You guys can follow me. So if you guys can hear it, I've got a little bit of a cold, so there's a delay in my overall summary of how my debut went for fit model, or my switch to the fit model division from bikini. So I am going to go over that briefly, probably not too long, since I'm not sure how much you guys want to hear a stuffy nose, but I do want to go over some things since it has been a little bit of time since I've sent an update. I just finished up breakfast. I already trained this morning. Yes, I know, boo-hoo, I'm sick, shouldn't work out, but it's literally just nose congestion. And I think with that movement, it's kind of moved out and around, and I think I'll be okay. So let's get to it. I feel really great with my switch to fit model. We'll start with that. I think it was a smart move. As recommended by the judges. I asked them back in December, should I switch to fit model? Yes, perfect for you. Totally. I think you're going to go a lot further with fit model. All of the positive feedback in December played a role in how I did this last weekend. So I did 2 competitions and I ended up walking away with first place in 3 different categories. So within the same division, so different age groups. I walked away with first in Open B, first in 35 plus, and first in 40 plus at the Florida Grand Prix. And then the next day, I placed first in Open B, first in 35 plus, first in 40 plus in fit model for both. So a very successful first run at it. And as always, we learn from our competitions, things we might want to do differently, things we might want to change to do even better. So I just missed the overall twice. It was super close, they said. I was second in overall, and that's okay out of 4. I know, looking back, at my pictures and my videos, areas I want to improve on, and some of them are actually things I can change immediately. So I grabbed feedback after my Saturday competition, and that feedback was just a little bit tighter. We'd like to see a little bit more lines in your legs. We'd like to see your core tighter. We've seen you tighter, Britt. You might have maybe spilled or something like that. Definitely have seen you, like, even on your social media, a little bit tighter. So, took that feedback, and there's a potential. We carb loaded pretty heavy, assuming that's what I needed, and we realized, my stomach and digesting all of that, it did go up quite a bit. So we're going to change that game plan for next time. And they also said my waist looked a little bit wide. So things I could change overnight into the Sunday competition. What we did is we game planned, okay, I had a call with my nutrition coach, Austin, and we talked about what that feedback was and how can we apply that to Sunday's competition. So less food day of show, obviously kept within a deficit day of show. My body likes to be leaner. We actually spent a lot of time filling up and into the show. About 15 days before peak week, we were increasing food to have a softer look, since that was what was winning. And this is what happens when you try to chase the criteria. You might not be actually bringing your personal best, right? So we decided, well, let's go ahead and go for a softer look since that's what's winning. And we knew the head judge had given feedback to one of my friends saying she needed to come in a little bit softer and not so lean. So we attempted that, which I like the look. I mean, I think the look was good. But I think we, overshot that softening look. And in Florida, these girls, man, I knew they were going to come in a little bit leaner. They were lean. So the quality of the athletes in Florida, in South Florida especially, was incredible. And props to everyone that competed. Everyone looked amazing. But definitely Saturday's competition, the overall winner was leaner than me. And that's where I missed, right? So my core wasn't as tight and my legs didn't have lines, which I was paranoid about. My legs have all these lines. We got to soften them out. And then we were worried about my abs because I had like hard abs. And then the girl that won overall had abs. So we're like, oops. And that's what happens. You try to chase the criteria and sometimes it doesn't always pan out. So for my physique, which conditioning is always based upon your personal physique. So just because my feedback is this does not mean it is your feedback. You might actually not look as good lean. But my feedback upon all the judges, well, of a couple judges, because I got really good feedback from one judge both days. He was like, spot on, this division is made for you, perfect. And I'm like, yes. Steve Weinberger, you guys, he's the GOAT. His feedback for me, overall look is excellent. You guys, excellent. Like, I'm gonna go to the grave with that word. He said just a little bit leaner. So happy with that. And I talked to Tim Gardner. He just was like, I would like to see you less square on in your front pose. That was Saturday. So I adjusted that for Sunday. So that was an immediate fix. He said it was a non-issue with my waist on Sunday. So check mark. However, I didn't like my posing on Sunday. I don't like how it looked. So I have made some additional adjustments to my front pose. Once again, that front pose could look amazing on someone with a long torso and long lines, but I am 5'2", you guys. I am short, and it didn't translate as well on stage as I thought. But it doesn't mean the posing is incorrect. It's just not good for my body, especially with my obliques and my erectors where I'm a little bit more dominant. It just wasn't for me. So I made some adjustments to that. So that was an easy fix. And Sunday went really well. And once again, that feedback, my waist wasn't an issue anymore. Maybe a little bit fuller in the glutes, but I think it was more of like the situation where we're trying to like pull back on food, and like I did come in a half pound leaner, and I do look leaner on Sunday, which is great. So like that was an extra like viewing and attempt on where does my body look on stage. So we're thinking about a pound difference, which honestly is pretty much my bikini weight, pretty close. Like, you know, I stepped on stage at 107 point something. When I did bikini, I was 107 point something, but my starting point was 105. So I was leaner and then filled out. So this time we were just filled out. So today I am a new low weigh-in, 106.4, and we're gonna keep pushing and just go for that look. Whatever looks best for me is what we're gonna go for. And once again, that might not even be for you. So what would I do differently? Well, we've already decided less carbs going through peak week and a cleanup day the day before the show and more movement. So I sat in the car for 3.5 hours on a heavy carb day that didn't do me any favors. So we're not going to do that. We're going to have more movement in and just try a little bit of a different approach with that loading process because I still need to look full on stage. They're still looking for, they don't want like stringy looking, they don't want dry looking. You still want to bring that fullness to the stage. So just a few tweaks to that. So Saturday, I didn't have much time to pump up. I was a little late. And I actually looked better on Saturday with less pumping up. It was crazy. Or I was just fuller because, you know, I was waking up as a peak, right? So it was supposed to be fuller. I just don't think I was lean enough to start for that fullness. But that's okay for the fullness. So I liked how my shoulders looked Saturday. Sunday, I looked a little flatter. And my glutes probably maybe were a tad flatter than Saturday. So I think just, you know, we're doing one show. We could just focus on that look that day. I think we're going to be good. Yeah, the only other change is less food the day before and less food the day of, just for that core control. And then the difference between bikini and fit model, well, I didn't have any feedback to grow any more muscle or to come in like fuller. I mean, minus the glute thing on Sunday, and that could have been just kind of a fluke, and that was literally my only negative feedback that day. The day before, my only negative feedback was, we want to see you have a little bit tighter abs and legs lines. No feedback about putting more muscle on, which is great. I do think the leg lines and the shape of my legs is there with posing adjustments. So once again, some small tweaks to my posing for me. Once again, it has to fit your body type. So we're gonna do that. So all in all, super successful with the switch to Fit Model division. Next up, Junior USAs, which I'm really excited about. And that is actually just in 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 2 days. So I'm going to give it my all for that show and grab some feedback and see what they say, and just continue to do my best to crush it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my journey. Let me know, drop some comments below on what you want to see next going forward now that the official switch is there. What do you guys want to see more of, or do you want me to jump back on here and give you guys some overview for maybe like the next 2 weeks? Like I could do a combined video of going into Junior USA. What do you guys want to see? Let me know. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey, learned some things. If you need any help with the coaching or posing, whether you're bikini or fit model, you guys can go on my website, bshafit.com. And thank you guys once again for following me, and social media is the best place to reach me. Drop some comments, and I'd love to have you there. And thank you for continuing to inspire me to keep going.